Hello, everyone. Welcome to our. I guess it's our third stream. I guess who knows? Third stream, fourth stream, doesn't matter. So you guys are gonna be fine. The what you guys see in front of me is a Bell 407. We're gonna be flying November 365 My Tango, which is a. It is a well, it's supposed in real life it's a Bell 407 GXP, but in this sim currently do not have a Garmin One Bell 407, so we'll do the best that we can. So you guys can see, you guys can have a good look up the helicopter. Now, we currently don't have a HEMS cabin just yet, but there soon will be a HEMS cabin. Stay tuned for that. We're just doing a a little walk around, make sure there's nothing around the aircraft. Make sure, check, all the bolts are in. Aircraft looks pretty good. Check that. Boom. Main rotor mass looks good. No internal damage, nothing so far. Pitot 2 looks good. Batteries close. Good, looking good. So, all right. So before we begin our flight, we're gonna go and get this set. So this is currently the walk around phase. Now we're just walking around the aircraft because every time you're done with the aircraft, you want to make, or anytime you're about to depart, say you get done with a flight, you want to make sure the aircraft is good. Make sure there's no internal damage, especially to the rotors, especially like this thing up here. Come up here real quick. Make sure rotors look good. We look good, so we're gonna go and get inside the cockpit real quick. Now, this is currently gonna be a not a VAT sim flight, so we're gonna be making sure we don't, because I don't feel like doing any VAT sims. Plus, we're streaming, so we don't want to overdo our latency. Need to get some new, probably need to get new Wi-Fi or something like that. But we'll do the best that we can. So, currently we're gonna be departing out of the Cullington Medical Center, which was made by a guy named Michael. Credits to him. Um, okay. So now the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna obviously go through our checklist because obviously with every helicopter you need to have a checklist or you're gonna have issues. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go get the checklist. So if you guys want to get the checklist, I recommend you look into the Dreamful Bell 407. That is the checklist I'm using. Now, I had to kind of improvise with and kind of work around some things with the 407. So if you guys see some out of ordinary things, this is just so I can kind of maintain realism, especially when it comes down to this thing right here, the FADEC engine. So we're gonna go and get set and get going. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna check seatbelts are obviously secured, control frictions are on, throttle can obviously on, idle, fly max. Okay. Landing light is off. Altimeter. So, if you guys, we're gonna go and get our altimeter information. So, our altimeter information, I use Windy. Windy is in my. I'm not sure if it doesn't give like real time, but it does. It does what it can. It does the best it can. So, our altimeter has changed. It was 307. Now it's 3006. So, we put that in. Uh. I checked Volana and it said that the winds are at 160, so we're gonna go and set that just in case that is right because this is based off the sim. What I'm getting is real life information, so we don't know. It happens. It happens. So once that happens, now we can go actually to getting started. So instruments are static. Fire extinguisher. We currently don't have a fire extinguisher. That's kind of weird, but doesn't matter. Rotor brake is obviously up and latched because it's just a pump machine, kind of. Circuit breakers up and latched. Overhead switches are off and now are in and everything like that. So now we can go ahead. Now, for normal functions, we have the hydraulic system needs to always remain on, even though it shouldn't be. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and start the aircraft. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna click the anti-collision light, and then on the battery. Battery comes on. You hear the FADEC chime. So the FADEC chime is on. So yeah, obviously that's good. So that means we have FADEC. Obviously, this aircraft is FADEC run, so it's a FADEC run engine. So first thing I like to do is confirm that our bit checks. So we're gonna check our instrument FADEC. That's checked. LCD check. So that's up here. good. Instrument check, good. Torque speed, good. That's good. Good fuel. Fuel valve is on. Now, let me do the light test button, make sure that works good. Okay, now we're ready to start. So we're going to go ahead and before we start, we're going to come up here. We're going to go ahead. It says left and right transfer pumps need to be in. So we put the fuel booster pumps in. Boom. Okay, now before you so as a pilot, you must verify that, make sure everything is good before you start, especially the most important components is your fuel, your anti-collision, and your idle and everything in case may be. Now, in this sim, there are some different limitations. So with the 407, in the real life, you would have to probably, FADEC, everything like that. But in this sim, it's not completely accurate. Like I said before, everything is not going to go 100% accurate to the 407. I'm just working around so it works according to the sim. I wish. Hopefully 2024 will probably do some differences. But enough chatter. Let's get going. So, like I said, fuel boosters in, anti-collisions in. Batteries obviously on. Okay. VADEC is off. Now, this is a component. Make sure that this is set to auto. You never want to start this with manual, or you're going to possibly get into a quick hot start, and that's not fun. Okay, idle. Boom. Auto. Transfer pumps. We're good. Good to start. Start the clock. Obviously, you will yell clear. Oh gosh. Oh, okay. I don't know what that was, but I'm assuming I know what that is. Probably got a feature on. That literally does not sound like a helicopter whatsoever. It's funny. Okay. So as the rotors are now spinning, you guys are going to notice one thing I'm going to do. So now, obviously, now in real life and everything, even in X-Plane and every flight sim, the RPM should roll up to 60, but instead it rolls all the way up automatically at idle. So I'm going to teach you guys how to idle the helicopters. So I'll teach you guys how to keep it idle. So once you run up to 60, manual, introduce throttle to 31. Now keep in mind you want to keep it at 31 because at that point the RPM is still going to increase. So you want to. This is when rotor trim actually comes into play because down trim apparently lowers the RPM, so it kind of balances it so it doesn't go up. So this is how you idle the helicopter. So now we can now begin to our next phase, and now the engine start is good. So rotors obviously check. Everything's good. So now we can go ahead and set the generator to on. We're gonna come up here, turn on our avionics master on. Altitude gyroscope on. That as such. Okay, I'm not now obviously because it's not sunset or it's not nighttime or it's dawn or dusk. We don't need to worry about the position yet. So now we're going to begin the configuration for our flight for today. So I'm on my today's shift. I'm part of MedTrans, which is my virtual airline. If you guys like to join, just text on the Discord. I'll drop it in the description, and you guys can go from there. So once you guys do that, now you would like to go ahead and you want to go and configure all what you need. So we're going to go ahead and put in our waypoint. So we're going to be going to SC02, which is the Buford Memorial Medical Center. Run up the trim just a little bit so the RPM goes up a little bit. All right, now we're going to set the heading bug. So you want to set the heading bug to 188 because in that way you can catch up and do some nimble controls and whatnot. Okay, we're set on that. Good. All right, we don't need to worry about our voltage because starting is good. The voltage is going to go up. Now we're going to set the temps. All right, we're going to run up, roll up slowly. Once it reaches to the green, I'm going to automatically confirm the FADEC. That way, the FADEC can cancel out the temps and slow everything down. There you go. See, this is when FADEC comes into play. So now you guys did that. Now, the real GXPs usually turn on their I believe they usually turn on their position, their pulse lights. But since there's no pulse lights available on this aircraft, it is on this aircraft actually, but it's inoperative, unfortunately. But anyways, so as usual, so we're gonna confirm everything is good before we depart. So obviously our fuel boosters are in. Broadcast master, I'll usually use this as like a realism feature. I just utilize it as that, like when you're talking to ATC and whatnot. Avionics master is on. All that is on. Position lights need to come on too. Since it's kind of hot out here, because it is hot out in South Carolina, we're gonna go ahead. I think it's currently 89 degrees. It's pretty hot outside, and it's humid. It's really humid outside. So once we do that, okay, AC is up. Okay. Alrighty, so we're about practically ready to go. Alright, and we're ready to go. So we're gonna go ahead and turn off the camera, turn off the chrono. Clock is off. Now we are ready to go. So now typically with the 407, now there's several ways you could take off with this helicopter. Now, if you guys don't know, the 407 has a slanted main rotor system, which is, I guess, is slanted forward by a certain set of degrees. Not a lot, but it's enough to say that you will need to induce control in order to get the helicopter. That's why you guys are struggling. Why is it the 407 take off so weird? That's because the 407 actually has a nose up takeoff notation that you have to usually do. Now you can trim up and take off, which will be done automatically, or you can do it manually. Now most pilots do it manually because you have more control. Now, I recommend doing it with manually because obviously you have more control. So you guys want to go ahead. Now, you guys take off. You want to go ahead. You want to pull the cyclic up while you're engaging power. Get that left pedal in. Now, I usually like to use a input viewer because this can certainly help out. This is a really useful tool. It's a very useful tool for this aircraft. So the first thing you want to do, so you want to take everything slow. As a helicopter pilot, you want to be precise. I'm using a T-Flight HOTUS that's also in the description. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and engage left pedal. Boom. I'm gonna raise the power. Keep in mind that I'm also using the improvement mod, so it's not going to be the same 407. It's a modified one. So you see that? You see our nose is coming up. I'm going to raise the stick like that. Left pedal. Boom. And now that you're airborne, you want to go ahead and you want to now, because we are going to do a low left pedal turn to our heading. You'll take your time, no need to rush. Boom. And you want to go ahead and you want to trim right. I trim right usually so we get that little stabilization. Raise your power to 42% torque or 43 depending on your weight. Supposedly we have a flight medic and a flight nurse. We have once you feel like you got yourself at a good degree, push the nose forward gently. Take your time. Neutralize vertical speed so you can gain your effective translational lift. Then you just let it just gain airspeed slowly and gradually. Don't rush. And then once you feel like you get enough speed, ease the pedal left a little bit. Ease off the left pedal. Keep easing, keep easing, keep easing. Don't be abrupt with it. See, my sensitivity is being weird. That's all. Not too serious, but as you should. Then once you get 80 knots in hand, you want to go and turn right just a little bit, or do whatever you need to do to adjust your heading. Now you guys are wondering, why did I zoom in my Garmin all the way in? It's so you can have precise accuracies of where you are on the heading bug. You don't want a bad heading because number one, it's just not you just want to make sure aircraft is like that. Now I'm going to neutralize the pedal. All right, and I no longer have any pedal, but you now, as you gain more power, you most likely would need more left pedal in the sense, because the more left pedal you have, the more the helicopters want to go to the left or to the right. I'm gonna go ahead and cut my commentary from there. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I'm gonna go ahead and concentrate. So, if you guys would like to drop any comments, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoy the content. Have a good one. You guys can currently see that we are now doing a patient transfer. So we just landed. We're idle at this point because I mean, obviously now because I'm doing a live stream, I usually take breaks, but I'm not taking a break until we get to Charleston because that's where our destination is. Our intended destination is we're taking a woman that's in labor. We're taking her to MUSC Charleston from Buford. And once we do that, then we're gonna go ahead and head back. We're gonna head to Charleston, depending on our fuel. And once we do that, we'll go from there. We're gonna go ahead and get the meter for our current close airport. All right, so now that we got that set, so now the woman in labor. So how we do our calculations is we calculate the weight and then we add that to our stretcher weight. So our stretcher weight so we usually use the Aeromeds weights, which their stretchers are typically up to 45 pounds. Or I'd say, yeah, their specifications is about approximately 45 pounds, so and 20 kilograms. So we're gonna be using that to okay. We're gonna set our next heading bug to the east as 066. We're gonna set it to 065 so we can adjust onto the magenta line. All right, so now we got that. So the woman in labor that we're carrying is approximately 220 pounds or 223 at direct approximate. So then we're gonna add that plus 45. That's 268. So the 407's HEMS setup is usually the left front seat is usually gone. There's no left front seat, and that's replaced with enough space to fit a stretcher in. So, and suppose so we have 268. Now, in this case, our fuel is gonna try to bump back up. We're gonna go ahead and limit that. Boom. That's our flight medic, and that's our flight nurse, and then this is our patient, and then there's my weight. Calculate that into the helicopter, and then that's us. All right, so we got our altimeter is set. We're gonna go ahead and let this thing, we're gonna roll the flow full power. Yeah, we do. I think we do have a storm trying to come up, but I don't think so. I think it's just. All right, so like I said, we're gonna do the takeoff notation as I said. So I'm sure you guys demonstrated it again. So full power. Try that again. There we go. Took a little bit. Get a lot of little wind to the right, so we're going to adjust that trim. Remember to rise up slowly. You have enough altitude, so I'm going to pull this, push the stick down just a little bit. Oh goodness, my camera. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and let that climb slowly. Effective translational lift achieved. Boom. So now what we're trying to do is we're trying to get the bell to adjust onto our magenta line so we can get on, or at least close or on heading to our destination. And our cruising altitude most likely is going to be 1,400, and we're going to stay between that. Now, obviously, it is kind of difficult to maintain altitude with helicopters. So what I recommend doing with helicopters is instead of trying to maintain for that direct, you should try to stay around it. Because even as a helicopter pilot, you're not going to get 100% precise in this sim, at least if from my predictions. Unless we have like a GX Bell 407, or unless you're flying the H145, which has the 4-axis autopilot. With that, like I said, what you wouldn't do is when you're flying VFR with helicopters, you want to maintain a certain altitude within. You're not going to be, you can try, good luck, but it's not going to be 100% easy. So don't expect it to be, just try to be precise. Don't rush. Try to be, precise with your controls. Like as you guys can see, I'm currently climbing very slowly. And I'm also going to start to pull more power as time goes on. I'm just trying to get adjusted onto that line, as I just said. Once you feel like you need enough speed, now trim down comes into play really good, because this is actually really good for helping with engaging forward speed. Forward speed can be kind of difficult to do sometimes with a joystick, so if you need to compensate, you can always use your down trim. Alrighty, we're going to continue our climb. We continue to gain altitude slowly. Now you guys are wondering, why am I climbing so slow? Well, because we have a pregnant woman on board. We do not want to, you don't want to, you want to be as gentle as possible, for the baby, for the mother. You got to be a little precise. But as I was saying, now I'm going to go ahead and go silent now. Enjoy this flight. You guys enjoy it. Don't forget to like and subscribe.